Hey guys, how's it going again? Putting a clutch in this morbark chipper here this time. It's a pretty good sized chipper here. It's for a customer that I work for right now. I've been doing a lot of work. This is the first time here, but this is what this is. The Eager Beaver 1821. It's got a gas motor in it. So the problem we had was a while back ago I went over to work on this chipper, and they said it was somehow the feed wheels or something, and it wouldn't do it, or anyways. But I got out there on the job, and they had it. The whole chute was completely full from there all the way down in there, and they got a piece of wood in there, and they just turned it off. And they did. It is a pain in the ass. This was the worst one that I've ever had. Whenever I take and get it, got it down in there. So, what I had to wind up doing is I got this whole piece here off. I used my crane. If I was thinking, I would have took this to that guy where I get the clutches at, and he would have put all this together for me. But I didn't know that that's what he usually does. Usually I just take him the clutch, and that's usually how it works. So what I wound up doing is other night I went ahead and pulled this off, but you can see here's the clutch here, and here's all the other stuff here. I mean, there is nothing. When I took it apart, it just fell apart. I mean, they absolutely got they definitely got the heat in there, and that's, you can see inside there. Let me get my light here. You can see there, that is just, there's all the dust in there. I mean, they absolutely smoked this clutch here. So we're going to get all this stuff here cleaned out, and then once we get all this here cleaned out, I'm going to take and go ahead and we'll start putting the clutch together. We'll put all this down here back together. Sorry I didn't get a video on me taking it apart. It was late that night, and I had a bunch of storage. I had a bunch of stuff on my, my SD card, so I couldn't get it uploaded. I'm having a lot of problems right now trying to get everything uploaded on my damn from my GoPro to my computer. So I had to get a new SD card, trying to work on getting that there squared away. But basically, like I said, I'm gonna put it all back together, and I basically just reverse the way that I put it back, the way that I put it together, just reverse that as far as taking everything apart. So okay guys, so what I did was once I got this here tight, pretty tight, I went ahead and taken a hammer, and I tap this hammer around here like this, all the way around, hit it pretty decent, and that gets it snugged up. And you can see the line right here as to where it used to be at. And once you get that there pretty good and snug, and it meets back up with this line right here, that means you got it where it needs to go at. So I got that there squared away on that. We'll get the throw out bearing on there now. We'll get this sitting. Get that set up there. And y'all be able to see exactly what I got going on. Let me set y'all back down here. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. And as far as this right here, what I do is I just take and kind of just pop it up. Oh. Pop it up there where it needs to be at. And take this brass punch. That gives me exactly where it needs to go, and that locks it down. So we're good on that. Kind of make sure when you got this right here, it's going to be loose now because we got to tighten it up. So just kind of get it where you want it. And then, like I said, it'll get, once we get it all set up in there, it'll be ready to go. And get your throw out bearing here. Or pallet bearing, I should say, pallet bearing. Just get it there, just knock it right on here. I know these damn things are always tight when they go on there. I wish I'd have got the old one. big enough. Might do it. That there be good to go. I really tapped it down a little bit farther than what I wanted to, really. See if I can get it to. I think I can get it. Nah, it'll be hot. You really want it to be exactly flush, is how you want it to be. It's a little bit lower than what I really like it to be, but as long as it's not hitting, that right there, you're gonna be just fine. So I'll get the crane truck set up here. We'll go ahead and put this thing on in here and be ready to get this thing back to them. Okay guys, so what I did was once I got this here tight, pretty tight, I went ahead and taken a hammer and I tapped this hammer around here like this, all the way around, hit it pretty decent, and that gets it snugged up. And you can see the line right here as to where it used to be at. And once you get that there pretty good and snug, and it meets back up with this line right here, that means you got it where it needs to go at. So I got that there squared away on that. We'll get the throw out bearing on there now. We'll get this sitting. Get that set up there. And y'all be able to see exactly what I got going on. Let me sit y'all back down here. I'm gonna show y'all this real quick. And as far as this right here, what I do is I just take and kind of just pop it up. Oh. Pop it up there where it needs to be at. And take this brass punch. That gives me exactly where it needs to go, and that locks it down. So we're good on that. Kind of make sure when you got this right here, it's going to be loose now because we got to tighten it up. So just kind of get it where you want it. And then, like I said, it'll get, once we get it all set up in there, it'll be ready to go. And get your throw out bearing here. Or pallet bearing, I should say pallet bearing. Just get it there and just knock it right on here. I know these damn things are always tight when they go on there. I wish I'd have got the old one. This is big enough. Might do it. That there be good to go. Really tapped it down a little bit farther than what I wanted to, really. See if I can get it to. I don't think I can get it. Nah, it'll be alright. You really want it to be exactly flush, is how you want it to be. It's a little bit lower than what I really like it to be, but as long as it's not hitting, that right there, you're gonna be just fine. So I'll get the crane truck set up here. We'll go ahead and put this thing on in here and be ready to get this thing back to them. I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have this damn crane sometimes. So I had to put a brand new injector in the grapple truck, and I got that in there, got it programmed. Brother went to leave out here a minute ago in the driveway, and it died on him, like it just turned the key off. I didn't know what the hell's going on with that. So he was luckily he was able to coast around there and pull around over to his house. Parked in the driveway, went over, and it's just like the batteries. I don't know if they took a shoot or what, but it don't make a lick of sense to me why it would even do what it did. I don't know. I gotta go and check it out as soon as I get done messing with this. But seems like I can't never get told of. It ain't one thing, it's 10 others. So this is, oh, I don't know if that's going to work good for y'all or not as far as picking this up. Let me see if I can get y'all, see if it'll work over here like this. See if that's better. Yeah, there we go, that'll work. Okay, so the best thing to do is when you get ready to get it in there, go ahead and get them pretty much lined up and lock your clutch in. And then when I lock my clutch in, that makes it to where it holds them exactly where they need to go, so they're not moving up and down. And then you can just wiggle it like that, and you've seen how I just pushed it right on in there. So let me grab I believe them are 14s. I'm gonna grab them and just get that kind of snug to where I can take my crane off. Just enough room in the shop here to get this thing spun all the way around. But I'm gonna go ahead and get it all folded up here, and when I get done folding this up, we'll get her put back on here. Guys, we got lucky on this one. I was able to get down in there with a wrench and tighten them two bolts up. One's on this side and one's on this side, and what that does is that holds that keyway. That holds that keyway from that holds them there's two little keyways in a holder for this shaft here. So when you go back and forth like that, that's what that holds. So we got that there done. We got to put this nut. I just seen this nut. I was like, what the hell is that going by? I forgot it goes on this right here. And this is just to grease. That's just to grease that piece in there. So go ahead and get that tightened up. Stick this with me. We'll get a nut for that. Thought it was a 15/16. Let's make sure. I don't think it had a washer with it. No, it didn't. It just went straight to it. So we'll get this here tight. Get that good and snug. Only thing you want to do is just make sure whenever you're putting it in there, just keep an eye out to make sure that it's away from the clutch, because you can get it up there close to it and it'll rub a hole in it. But we ain't got it all the way adjust. We still got to adjust the clutch. It's not adjusted just yet. We got to adjust it. And so let's see here. We got to get all these bolts here. We're going to go ahead and get them snugged up. I went on ahead and grabbed this. So we get them all snug. And like I said, you ain't got to go crazy on these. Just get them snug up pretty decent. You know, that's why I like to put an extension on there. And I did look in the book, and like I said, I like to run them down with this here first, and this gets them with the extension on there, and that gets them pretty close to where they need to be at. And like I said, I'll get in the book there, and I'll get the torque. I'll get the torque spec on them, and I'll torque them down. So I ain't got to worry about it, but usually you can almost just do it just like this with this extension, and you'll be just fine. It's just I like to torque them down, but that's basically got them pretty good there. Shouldn't have nothing to worry about on them. See, they're all good and snug. But yeah, we'll go ahead and put we'll torque, like I said, we'll torque them down. Make sure they're good and tight. You don't want to over tighten them, pull the threads out of there, and then next time you go to put something in there, it won't be where it needs to be at. So okay, so got that there squared away, got them done. Like I said, we're going to make sure that they're all good. Make sure they're all good and tight. I guess some Harrison got loose. That's why, like I said, I'll torque them. I'll go ahead and get them all torqued down here, and that should be good to go on that. As you can see how it's so loose, that's how we know it's not ready to. It's not ready. You go to put it in there like that there, smoke that clutch right out of there just as soon as it'd be worse than what it was. Alright, so we'll get these all torqued down real good, and then once we get them torqued down, I'm going to show you how to get the belt on there. Alright guys, so if you need to adjust the clutch in the chipper, all you have to do is you'll turn this piece right here. I don't know if my light's too bright on y'all or not, but right, say you see all those little teeth on that thing there? Let me see if I get it. These right here, these little teeth right here. Turn them clockwise if you want to loosen it, and counterclockwise if you want to tighten it. And then once you do, make sure you get that right there lined up with that little hole there. And what you got is you got your little keeper here, and you put that little keeper, you get that little keeper lined up, and you put that little keeper right in there, just like that right there. And that's what keeps that. That's what keeps that from backing off or going forward or whatever you have to do. And when you get it like that there, you just put your little bolt back in here. And I want to show you what we got going on. I'm gonna get this here tightened up just so it don't move. I like to adjust mine just a little bit tighter just a little bit hard, because I know what they're going to put this chipper through. So you just kind of get it to where you got to put decent amount of pressure on, like out there, and that keystroke locked in. And see how I don't have very much, you know, play with this right here. So that means it's good to go. And then make it where you just pull it out like that there. But I know how, like I said, I know how hard they are on these equipment, and I just know that if you don't get it right in there, they'll rip it right out of there. So once you get that there done, go ahead and tighten this right here up, but just go ahead and lock it in so it stays right there and you ain't got to worry about it. And just go ahead and you can just tighten this here on up. And once you get that there tightened up, put your inspection plate on there and start putting the belts and stuff back on there. Alright guys, the other day I had the bolts already loosened, so I went ahead and loosened them on up, slid the motor back, and that should be enough. Just make sure you measure before you take it apart up there, or you move it, so you know when you go back to put it together that it goes right up and on there. So we got that one on there. And then once you get that one on there, just start working it and just keep pushing it on around there. Just keep pushing it on around there. And there you go. It'll go right on there, no problem at all. So we got all that there on there. And all you gotta do is just start taking your, the lines are pretty close to where it's gonna be at. But all you have to do is just start tightening these here up. I take a big bar and I push that big bar on there. But as long as you start getting one side tight, it should start pulling both sides. Usually that's what it does. So if you're lucky anyways, and then it kind of pulls it up there pretty straight to where it needs to be. You don't want your belt to be over tight, but you don't want it loose to where it's slipping. No, that's basically about where that needs to be at on that one. I'll get my tape measure and maybe go ahead and tighten this side here on up now. Looks pretty decent there. I just had that damn tape measure somewhere. It's over here. I took pictures on my phone just so I would know exactly where it is, and that right there is at 3 and 3 3/8, I believe that's what that is. No, 3 1/2, I believe. Looks like 3 1/2 on that side. So this side here, that side is good. This side here is just a little bit too, this side here is just a little bit too far. This side here needs to go on back just a little bit. Because as of right now, It's not trued up right now. This side here needs to go back. But what you have to do is you make sure you tighten that side up first. Damn wrenches, damn it. Where the hell I set them? Back this off just a tad bit. Just so you can get because it'll put your nut in too much of a bind or your bolt, and you won't be able to get it tight. So just get it back here like this right here. So let me get this call. And just get that lower back in there like I just did this right here. And push it back just a little bit. And then see exactly about where we're at now. Damn. Hell, I'm going the wrong way. I'm thinking about pulling it backwards and it needs to come forwards. Oh man, it's right there. That's money. It's money right there. That's perfect right there. And then just kind of take your tension. Make sure you're good and tight. Should be good to go. Like I said, you don't want it too tight. You want to be able to make it, it needs to be able to move a little bit back and forth, but like I said, you don't want it to be too loose. And then just kind of come through here and just look at it and make sure your pulleys look like they're running nice and straight. And nothing's cocked off one side to the other. And just kind of pull it there. What I do is I like to spin it a little bit. And just kind of look down through there. And like I said, just make sure everything's running nice and true. And that's basically about all you gotta do. It's pretty much as long as you get these two things right here exactly where they need to go, you should be just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten all these nuts down, get them all tightened up, and we'll fire this thing up and see exactly what it's going to do. Okay. I like to just put that piece already on there so I ain't got to worry about it. Got that there squared away. This cover, it's kind of heavy, but it's not too crazy. The bolts, like I said, these here just kind of sits up on there. So. Just kind of get it up there, kind of where I need it at. Like it. start running the bolts down here. And this piece in the back here, we'll just pick it. See, that's why I like to get that piece in here first. Just because it makes it, oh, I can't see the piece here. You can kind of fight it, I should say. Now we got this here, we can get y'all set here now so you can maybe see a little better, maybe a little more, don't know. And the bottom just kind of slides up into itself there. Nothing crazy. And then this little piece here. Then I gotta drop inside the clutch housing. This little piece here, it'll just go right in here just like this. I got their stump grinder to work on next. So, got that there. Couple more on the bottom. Hook the battery cable up. I always unhook the battery cable when they're sitting in the shop. Just, I don't know, just a safety thing I've done. I mean, I ain't saying the shit's gonna catch on fire, but hell, you never know. You know, I'd rather be safe than sorry. Look out there in the whole shop and be damn on fire. Got them on the bottom, and then I've got two more right here. I got all this here in there. So I just got to tighten all these up now. Should be good to go. them two right there, I gotta use a wrench or my ratchet on them two. Same thing with this one. Here's the same way. Get a ratchet on these. Got them tight, and then just these two here get tight. Tighten the motor mounts up and then cover the damn fuel things up. There's this one certain fuel pump that every one of these chippers use. I don't care if it's Bandit, morbark, Vermeer, all three of them use the same exact fuel filter, or fuel pump I should say. And I'll show you what they look like over here in just a second here, because I got to put this fuel thing back on there. Hell, I got brakes right there. I ain't even had a chance to put the rest of them on there. I asked him where this guard went. There's a guard that goes here, but he said they don't know where the hell it went. So I don't know if I'm going to have to order one or what. We're going to have to figure that out. But this fuel pump here, there's the cover there, but this little fuel pump here, this style right here, 2 wires, and the way it goes straight in that filter right there. Oh damn, you probably can't see it, can y'all? But anyways, that fuel filter right there, Bandit, morbark, Vermeer, every one of them all use that same type of fuel pump in that filter there. And that right there, I just had to put one of those on a little bitty Bandit chipper, and just that fuel pump was like $600-700 just for that fuel pump. I could not believe it was that expensive. So we got that there tightened up, got that tightened up. This is just a little flapper door where you can check your belt. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the motor mounts back up. Get them done. I think they're 15/16. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a 15/16, tighten them up. Tighten these two little nuts here up that I have here. Look at this thing. I got my damn tools everywhere. Go ahead and tighten them on up. Thought I'd tighten these up, I don't guess I did. I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I know what the problem is. Loosen this just a little bit. Loosen it. Get it back tight here now. Where it needs to be at. Get it right there. Grab my big impact. Get them tight. That one's tight. The only one I gotta do by hand is the one over here underneath that fuel filter. Because you can't, if you want to get with your impact, you gotta take the fuel filter off and the fuel pump. I just don't feel like doing all that extra work for no apparent reason. So when I took this here off, I just tightened it up. I just did it by hand. And that way I ain't got to worry about it. One more time and got to get it there. Put my wrench on it here. There we go. Got that one tight, got them tight. Put the cover back on it here. Maybe it don't go that way. Maybe it goes this way. What the hell is it? There it goes. About to get it. I'll get my extension and put these on there, on the bottom side there. And we'll be, should be good to go. Nut. See where it goes here. I'm just trying to. Almost crossed it. I know this much. When I go start this fucking thing up, it'll be sitting outside the shop. Because when you crank this thing up, you want to make sure there ain't nothing nowhere in the way. Because if it's got a piece of wood in that damn thing, trust me, I'm telling you from experience, you just better make sure there ain't nothing out there. One time I started a damn chipper up and it was outside. But there was a truck and 100 feet away from it. And I was like, they want me to get it started, get it running because it ain't been running a while. And when I started that damn thing up and I engaged the clutch in it, it sit there and run for about 5 minutes. It sit there and run for about 5 minutes. And that son bitch cut a piece of wood and it threw her 100 feet away and busted a mirror on the side of the truck. Didn't even know it busted the damn thing until a couple of days later. I was walking around there, I was like, what the hell? Why is that damn mirror busted on that truck? And then come to find out, that's what it was. So, get this, I'm gonna get all these tools picked up and pull this thing out of the shop and see what we got. Alright guys, well we got this thing outside now. We're gonna try to get it fired up here and see about what we can, see about what it does here. Now, go ahead and fire it on up here. dust that come flying out there, but other than that there, everything looks good. We're gonna check it all over one more good time here before I send it on out. I was hoping they would have had this cover for this chain guard here, but they don't have that nowhere, so I don't know if I'm going to have to order one for them or not, but like I said, I've got another job done. They should be able to use this thing tomorrow. Like I said, thanks again, guys.